this is paraphrasing, so it's not the whole. I did more than this. I just don't want you to think I was this silly, but it was basically like run up that hill and run as hard as you can. And if you don't want to run up that hill, you won't be playing in the team, because it starts with attitude, you know. And unfortunately, that's always being tested as professionalism's got on. That's being tested more because every smart ass wants to tell you that this is too much, or that's this, or this is that, or the other. But you've got to have the feel for, I'm prepared to work hard because I want it. And that's the core of everything. The other stuff only works when that's there. And a lot of the players, you know, some of the guys who are up here and some of the guys who are sitting out there, enjoyed that. They hated it, but they enjoyed it at the same time. Hard training. One of the classics for me was, well, I was relatively young when I started here. I think I was mid-30s. And I would jump into the training, like the contact. And the blokes didn't know whether to bash me or what to do. It was not until he slipped, I think, took me out one time, and then it was a free-for-all. Like, everyone wanted to belt me. So just that idea that, like, you've got to have a bit of edge. And I'm not going to say that I thought this out with some great strategy. It's just who I am, and hopefully that rubbed off to one other person and they liked that, and that rubbed off onto another person. And the other stuff all sort of came later, tactics and technique and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, but hang on a second, right? So,
oh, here we go.
Right. Yeah, you did used to join into the training, and we used to do the Killiney Hills, and it was the worst training or the toughest training I've ever done in my life. We get down the bottom of Killiney Hill, and we'd run up, and there'd be a 100-meter, you know, vertical, and then you get to a little plateau, and then you do another 80 meters. And we used to have to do that 10 or 15 times. And we'd do it, you know, maybe 12 times, and we'd be absolutely dying. And then we'd hear checks constantly going, come on, lads, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. You get to your last go, 15, and checks runs up the hill by himself. Come on, lads, follow me. I got this. And you still beat him up the hill.
Yeah.
And your response?
Me?
Do you have any response to this?
Oh, mate, like, I didn't, I distinctly remember running all the hills myself and getting up there. But it is interesting because, you know, I'm still always fighting with the athletic trainers about this, because they'll always tell, and I'm not saying the hills was the only thing, it was just a thing that we're focusing on here. They'll always tell you there's you know, you can get more velocity running this way or doing that way, but there's nothing like standing at the bottom of a big hill and saying, I've got to get up the top there and I do not want to go, because success is genuinely built on doing the things you don't want to do and doing them as regularly as you can. Because if you... anyone can do the stuff they want to do all the time, you know, and it's a battle. It's a battle because as generations change, there's less of not doing... I know I've got young kids myself. There's too many, to be honest, right? But sorry, Steph. But there's less of doing what you don't want to do happening. So I just think it's a simple premise for the way you are as a person, and if that can translate into footy, then that's fantastic.